Hello and welcome to Take Charge, your path to healthy aging. My name is Jennifer Wenger, Business Development Manager of Leahy Health Senior Care. Take Charge is brought to you by Leahy Health Senior Care, a complete continuum of care and services brought to you for the North Shore and Cape Ann area. Today our special guest is Lisa Orgetis. She is the Executive Director of Spectrum Adult Day Health in Beverly and in North Andover. And today Lisa is going to be talking to us about the importance of adult day health services. How are you, Lisa? Thanks for joining us.
Wonderful. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. So I'm just going to dive right into some questions that I think could be on some minds of folks throughout the community, and what the difference may be between Alzheimer's disease and dementia.
And that's a common question that I get a lot of. People are confused, and I think that people think that dementia is this pervasive thing, but really the difference between Alzheimer's and dementia is that dementia is like the umbrella term for a variety of diseases that result in memory loss. So dementia, Alzheimer's, is one type of dementia, but there are other types of things. So when people use the term dementia, it's more of an umbrella term. And the example I give is the word cancer. You know, people understand that, but there are types of cancer, and it's the same thing with the word dementia. There are types of dementia. The most pervasive kind, of course, is Alzheimer's disease, and it's the one that's on most everybody's mind.
Okay, so what are some early signs of Alzheimer's disease?
Early signs of Alzheimer's disease, we start to see people who are getting befuddled in a variety of areas of their life, and it's something that's kind of happening pervasively. It happens in different types of things that take several step logic, so people start having difficulty paying their bills. People have trouble keeping up with everyday things. You know, you start to see people whose work is suffering because they're just not able to keep up so much anymore, and it's really something that is across the entire functioning level. So people aren't just, because people worry, I forgot this one thing, and it's not that. It's a change in functioning level across the board. So those are, when you start to see people, some people become more withdrawn because it's more difficult to keep up, so naturally people feel that pressure and they kind of withdraw a little bit. Or you start to see, you know, things piling up at home, or things that used to be so easy for that person to do are becoming more difficult. Finding certain words, completing sentences, and being able to do multi-step things is becoming much more challenging.
So could you say there's a difference between then Alzheimer's and age-related?
Absolutely.
Yes.
We all occasionally, you know, have things that change, and we worry. You know, losing your car keys, or forgetting the name of your favorite restaurant, or who the actress is on TV. Those are, everybody banters around the term senior moment.
Sure.
So they get a little tripped up in that, and then of course that goes right into fear. The basic difference between normal aging and someone who has a memory disorder or memory loss is that eventually the person in a normal aging situation remembers they forgot, and or finds a way to solve their problem. So, you know, when you wake up at 2 o'clock in the morning remembering the actress's name from the movie you looked at the night before, the fact that you didn't pay one monthly bill but you know you forgot it, those are normal things. They happen to everybody.
Sure.
It's when pervasively someone changes that there's an organic problem going on.
Okay, so that's peace of mind right there.
It is.
All right. So what else could cause memory loss then besides Alzheimer's?
Right. There are a lot of things that can cause memory loss, and it's really important that if someone's experiencing some sort of change in their life, that they go see their doctor, because there are other things that are symptomatic of memory loss that are really attributable to other things. Sometimes we see this in people with really poor nutrition, and sometimes this is something that our elders fall into because sometimes you're just cooking for one, you used to be cooking for more, so people don't go into the trouble, so they're maybe not eating as well as they should. Sometimes it's a medication error. People who've been on the same medication forever and ever, and their doctor hasn't questioned it. It could be something that has built up for someone, so it could really be affecting someone's functioning level. Different types of illnesses really can mimic memory loss. One in particular is a urinary tract infection, and something like that can cause a profound change in someone. And it's not something you think about right off, but it is something that affects people. Vascular issues can affect people. So there are different kinds of conditions that are fixable. So, the fear factor of going to the doctor is always there. And people don't want to know, so sometimes they ignore. But it absolutely could be something that we can, medically address to improve the person's life. Something like depression. Someone who's really in a deep, dark depression you may find isn't able to keep up functionally, is withdrawing, isn't really, in society anymore. But that may be an element simply of their depression. And when something like that is addressed, they're able to come back into their normal functioning, kind of regain themselves. So it's really important to consider those things and to hunt around for those things to make sure that they're addressed.
Okay.
Yeah.
So once that is sort of addressed, and if there's still some notion, how would one get diagnosed with Alzheimer's?
Well, it's important to start with your primary care physician, and from there branch out. There are a number of different types of neuropsychologists that people go to, geriatricians. So there are specialty folks out there. Generally, what happens is there's testing over time. So sometimes, and there's a lot of neurological, mental acuity testing that happens. There we'll do some timestamp testing to see, where you're at with your memory, and then maybe again in 3 months to see if there's a change, or in 6 months. And also, there's a lot out there. You read every day in the paper there's a new, diagnostic test. And they're looking at, MRI scans and things of that nature. And they can see some changes in the brain, but they're not necessarily able to diagnose. So generally, something like this oftentimes is they're omitting things. They're finding out what it isn't to kind of refine down to what they think it is. So it's really important to go back to your doctor and to seek out answers, because if you feel like things are happening and your doctor's not really addressing it, to take it a step further, to ask for
Get a second opinion.
See a neurologist, see a geriatrician, or someone who can do some sort of testing with you, just to see where you're at.
Okay.
And also help understand what your functioning needs are, and also be able to work with the family about how they can help that person.
Okay. So it's interesting that it's not just a one-stop.
It really isn't. It's not like you take an X-ray and there it is.
Sure.
And
different testing can take some time.
Absolutely, and it does take time. Yeah, it does. And people were reluctant to do it oftentimes because the fear of the unknown is there.
Of course.
And everybody's so worried.
Sure.
Yeah.
So are there types of treatments that are out there that are working, or what are your thoughts on that?
There are a variety of medications out there right now. There are 2 classes of medications. There's a certain type of medication, and people are familiar with the term Aricept and Namenda. Those are primarily for use in the earlier stages of the Alzheimer's disease process. And what they do is they slow down the disease process. So someone could really increase their quality of life. And that really changes person to person and the effectiveness. A lot of times those are the first medications that a doctor will prescribe for someone when they're experiencing memory loss, just as a piece of a larger plan. When those types of medications kind of aren't working so much for someone anymore, when they've moved into an advanced stage, generally there's another class of medication, and the common brand name is Namenda. So that is, again, for the later stages. But that is just the pieces that apply to the medical piece. It's really important to, put this person in and get them as many enriching opportunities as possible. So how do you challenge this person? How do you, increase brain function by just simply engagement and keep people motivated, engaged? Because really, if someone's experiencing this kind of medical memory loss, again, like we talked about, they're really trying to withdraw, and you pull them back into life.
Right. So would you consider adult day health as a form of treatment in a way?
Absolutely, yes.
So what type of services would be offered then for an adult day health program?
Adult day health programs are probably one of the unsung heroes of the medical community, and I think we're highly misunderstood. I think people hear the word adult day health, and first of all, they don't know what it is.
Sure.
It's not something that a lot of people know about. And then when they do hear about it, they think, oh, it's daycare. But it's really so much more than that. It is a medically based day program designed to really keep people at their optimal functioning level. And honestly, the earlier you start in a therapeutic environment, the better off you're going to be. Because people have that opportunity to be given really good quality medical care, really good support systems, and a lot of therapeutic environments that kind of keep people going and challenged. So we really are there to create an opportunity where people are challenged. And we try to do that in a lot of different ways. We try to do that, obviously, physically. We want to keep people engaged physically, feeling, really strong and be able to maintain that physical health for as long as possible. We want to make sure that they're in really tip-top shape for their medical health. So, we have nurses that would administer medications, would do medical management, and really help nip things in the bud, because sometimes things are, you can catch things early before they become a big deal.
Sure.
We do a lot intellectually with people. So there's a lot of trivia. There's a lot of things where people need to produce. All of that's really couched in a failure-free environment because you need to make people feel successful. So, but it's really important to honor folks, for who they are as people, to create really enriching and entertaining things for people to do, but also create situations where people can have, friendships again. And,
Right.
a lot of people end up really isolated, and it's really nice to see people, coming and having friends and different things to do. And we really try to create a physical environment that's really conducive to people with memory loss. So when you walk into Spectrum, you will find that it's created in a situation so it's easy for people to navigate. Be it the fact that we have twice the amount of light, because people with memory loss need more input, need more sensory experience. How we use the color to create independence for folks, as far as creating really bright, colorful bathroom doors so it's easy to find, so that people have that sense of being independent, and also creating situations where people are successful, so that they have an opportunity to really challenge themselves, to be engaged.
Feel independent.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is important.
Everybody needs to feel,
Right.
As part of a group. As
Dignity for
dignity and
themselves.
social engagement, and really feeling like, they're back in the swing of things.
Right.
And that's really important for folks.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So those seem to be great benefits for the client themselves, but do you offer anything for the caregivers or the loved ones of the folks who are bringing it in?
Yeah. Oh, sure. It's a challenge to be a caregiver, and it is extremely difficult and taxing. And the thing about being a caregiver is it's 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, all year. There's no break. And that is tough on people. It is a grueling task. And oftentimes the caregivers are a spouse. And so if someone with memory loss is, of an advanced age, so is the spouse and their ability to care for that person. Or it could be an adult child. And so, you've got that sandwich generation of this person, the son or daughter, caring for mom or dad, as well as their own wife or husband and their children. And trying to maintain a job. And so there's so much stress for people.
Right.
One of the huge other benefits of adult day health is that people get a break. So it's really respite for the caregiver.
Sure.
They have an opportunity to have mom or dad come spend an exciting, interesting day. I always say I want people to go home happy and tired.
Right.
So I want you to have a really good day and, do all these things so that you feel like you've really accomplished something. And then the caregiver has had a day off to rest, or to work, or to go to the child's baseball game, or whatever it is that will help them regenerate and or carry on. So that really is a huge benefit to caregivers. So the main purpose of a program like Spectrum Adult Day Health really is to keep people at home for as long as possible, to prevent nursing home placement if at all possible.
Okay.
And this, in this day and age, it's such a win-win because people want to be at home. And even the families want their loved ones to be at home. You have to help them, give them the tools to be able to do that. And this really does that.
Yep.
And the other piece is we become care partners with the family. So family members can reach out to what we have to offer them. We have, nurses. You can walk in anytime and speak to one of our nurses and get your questions answered or get advice or, pointers on, what to ask the doctor or, just this is happening, is this normal, or any hints on, this, that, or whatever it is.
Sure.
Same thing with a social worker. Be able to ask questions and even just have someone to talk to, because it can be a lonely job to be a caregiver. Oftentimes, support systems kind of fade away because you're so intensely caring for someone that, you're not able to keep up with your friendships or all those other external social people. So that can also be very isolating. So it really gives them an opportunity, to have a support system of their own, the caregivers, and also on that same vein, being able to, ask questions about what's, this person's actions at home. He or she is doing this, or what can I do to prevent that, or, different types of clinical things that pop up as people advance through memory disorders. And
So almost following a care plan.
it
in a
is.
way.
Again, we're trying to be holistic around the person. So it is where, we work hand in hand with external care providers, professional care providers,
Sure.
maybe being able to put things in place at home, working very closely with other services that we can offer through the Leahy Continuum, be it, home health aid services, be it occupational or physical therapy. So, having lots of tools in your tool chest to be able to be successful at being a caregiver and to have everything you need to care well for your person.
Sure. So you can have therapy at the program as well, occupational and physical therapy.
We can, yes. We hook in with Leahy Health at Home.
Okay.
And so we do have, and that's a great service because, again, we're trying to create ease for the caregiver.
Right.
So instead of having to take their loved one somewhere to have physical therapy, we can have it in the program.
And for folks who might have home care already in place in the home, they could still come to the program.
They can.
Okay.
It dovetails nicely together because it can really be a wraparound service.
Sure.
Someone can come into the home in the morning, assist that person to get ready for coming to Spectrum. They could attend Spectrum for the day and then go home to more caregiving at night.
Sure.
So that really, when you add in that layer of service, people have the opportunity to really be supported. And it's
So what would a typical day then look like for a client of Spectrum?
well, we're a busy place, and we have a lot of diversity in what people like to do because obviously, no one's the same as
Right,
anybody.
right.
So we try to be. We try to have lots going on and really at different paces because some people are really fully want to engage in all the different things that they want to try. Some people are more reserved, and so they like a quieter pace. But regardless of that, we try to have a really good extensive day. So we're open Monday through Friday from 8 to 5. And we also open on a Saturday, which is unique for 9 to 4.
Yep.
So our folks come in. Some people, their family drives them. Some people, we have a transportation service that will take them back and forth. But folks come in, they get settled in. We offer a nice breakfast, a full breakfast. We tend to kick off the day then after breakfast with all different kinds of groups in all different kinds of areas because one of the nice things about the programs is that we have different areas in the programs. So it's not just the one big old room. It's a lot of different rooms where different things can be happening.
Okay.
So some folks may be starting off with some yoga or some chair exercises. Some people might be doing different types of trivia or other types of things. Right now, one of the big things is the Spectrum Senior Sewing Circle.
Oh,
we have a group of ladies, and they've really gotten into sewing projects. Their big accomplishment this past year was creating a quilt that was on display at the Topsfield Fair.
Oh,
So,
how fun.
so reaching into the pockets of people's true interests, be it we have a lot of veterans, so they enjoy a lot of the history pieces of that. So we can delve in a lot to that. We can do different types of. We bring in fun things too, entertainers, a couple times a week, so that people can either dance or listen to the music. We just try to keep it moving, keep it interesting. Sure. We try to keep it as fun and upbeat as possible. Both our programs are pet friendly, so we usually have a therapy dog in during the day, and they can, really engage with the clients, and they really love it. So
nice. And you have a transportation service, is that
we
right?
do, yes. We have a transportation service, and it's a door-to-door service.
Okay.
So a driver will come to your home, ring your doorbell, assist you onto the van, and then when the van arrives at the program, staff are there to greet people. So there's always a hand-to-hand
That's
contact.
great.
So it's a really helpful thing for family members. Again, trying to balance off all of
Absolutely.
the caregiving tasks. So it's
Sure.
really productive, and people really like it.
So as one advances through different stages of the disease, how are services offered for that person who might not be early onset, might be a little later in the
Sure.
stage?
And that's where we change.
Okay.
We know that people are going to come to our door in a variety of places in the disease process. We know that they're going to change as time goes on, so we prepare ourselves for that. And part of the things that we do in preparation for that is that our staff are highly trained. We go through a Alzheimer's Association certification class every other year with all of our staff. We do a lot of ongoing education, and we also do a variety of different things where we have different opportunities for different people. We try to put people together who we think would enjoy each other's company. So I know that on any given day, I have an opportunity for a group to be together who really, wants to, do something really big and interesting and fun and, busy. And then I know that I've got a group who prefer a quieter day and a quieter environment, and we can accommodate that. And we also have a staffing ratio that really helps us accommodate that. We're able to have one staff person for every 4 people who attend. So that's a pretty good ratio of being able to provide that
Right.
hands-on, one-to-one intimate service with people, and also get to know them. Because our folks come to us with, amazing stories and histories and, just such a rich tapestry of things to teach us with all their life experience. It's really fulfilling.
So you're learning from both ends.
Absolutely. It's fascinating.
Yeah,
It's
I'm sure.
fascinating. We're seeing some of our veterans now are more of the Korean War age, and so you really, you're listening to this person talk about what it was really like there. You're listening to the woman who raised 10 children and what that was like, and the woman who was fled Nazi Germany, and all of these things where you really get to know such pieces of history. It's fascinating.
Every day is a new day.
Every day is a new day.
So do you offer any type of support groups or networks for
Yes, we
the
absolutely do.
caregivers?
Yes, we do. We actually have a variety of support groups. In our Beverly location, we have a support group on the first and third Wednesday of every month, and it's in the afternoon, and we also provide respite. So you could bring your loved one, and the loved one could, enjoy company with Spectrum members while you attended the support groups, all free.
So can I interject and
Sure.
ask what respite? Can you just define
Okay.
that for anyone who might not know what that is?
Well, if you're caring for someone who has a memory loss, has Alzheimer's or so, it would be unsafe to leave them by themselves. So for you to be able to come to a support group means you would need to find care for your loved one.
Right.
So we're able to do that. And so that person can come and be in the program, be in Spectrum, surrounded by the staff and the nurses, and while in the next, conference room, you would have an opportunity to sit. So it allows people, an opportunity to know that their loved one is in a caring environment, so that you can relax,
Right.
and you can really. The support
Benefit
groups are
from the support.
yeah. The support groups are just amazing places where people really, are able to support each other, give ideas, experience, relive experiences with each other. that really helps. So, and I just did want to mention that we also have 2 different support groups in our North Andover program. One is actually focused for folks who are younger onset, which means they've been diagnosed with Alzheimer's before the age of 65, which is a very unique population.
Right.
So I just wanted.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I believe we did have some information that we can share with our
Certainly, yeah.
listeners and watchers, talking about how to get in touch with someone if they wanted to RSVP or get any more information on the support group. So that's great. So what will help to maintain one's memory, to sort of steer clear, if you will, or something you could do to prevent
Right.
anything?
And all I can tell you is what any doctor would tell you, which is take care of yourself, which is
Easier said than done.
It's easier said than done, but maintain a good social connection with people. It's really important. Be able to engage intellectually, and it's really important to challenge yourself intellectually, and it's important to do it in different ways. Everybody says, oh great, I'll do my crossword puzzles, but that's one way, and your brain gets used to that. You have to change it up. And I always tell people, you think you know how to do something, try brushing your teeth with your opposite hand. It's all muscle memory, so you really have to pick up and learn an instrument, change to a different type of, do Sudoku, do something different. All these types of things are really important. It's really important to maintain good physical health. It's important to exercise. It's all of these things, because while we know what causes Alzheimer's, we don't know why it happens, and they're working on what they can do about it. But just as far as any doctor will tell you, that's all you can do.
Yep.
Yeah.
So if one is concerned about their memory or potential memory loss, do you have any suggestions or anything you would say, see your primary care physician?
Absolutely.
Is that the first
Start
step?
there, and then see, again, we talked about earlier, see if there's anything else medically going on, see what it is, and if it isn't, what next steps need to happen. And it's really important, to face these things head on for a variety of reasons, because you need to have good plans in place and be able to decide, how you want your path to go. So it's just, it's a scary thing. Nobody wants to think about it, but it's really
There's
important.
resources out there.
There are resources out there, and the research is just so interesting. There's so many things going on. They're looking at all different things about the disease, about how to prevent it, how to deal with it. All these. They're looking at genetics. They're looking at all kinds of interesting things. So, when I think about how far we've come with other disease processes, I have to believe that the same thing will happen with this disease.
It's hopeful.
Yeah, it is.
So how could viewers learn more about Spectrum?
I would suggest that people stop at our website, which is spectrumdayprogram.org. And you can learn a lot about Adult Day Health Services, a lot about Spectrum, what we do, get a feel for, all the different aspects of program, and also more information about, how to connect in with other services.
Great.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, Lisa, for joining us today. Appreciate that. And for more information on any of the programs under Leahy Health Senior Care, you can visit leahyhealthseniorcare.org. And again, you've been watching Take Charge, Your Path to Healthy Aging, and please feel free to tune in next time as we continue to navigate, and you'll learn new tools for navigating the healthcare continuum. Thank you.